171 pounds. He trains with Right Way in Phoenix City, Alabama. Please welcome Cody Vinzant.
He got the Alabama tattoo on his chest, Roll Tide.
And out of the red corner.
You know a little bit about that, wouldn't you, Eric?
0-0. His height is 5'10". His weight is 170 pounds. He trains with Mission Submissions out of Lincoln, Alabama. Please welcome Threatt.
Sounds like Austin has a little bit of the crowd advantage tonight as they get ready.
And it looks like, they talked about being from a submission school. Looks like he might have the advantage there compared to the boxing school.
Both these gentlemen certainly have their game face and look ready to go. Uh-oh.
Matthew looks like he's raring to go.
Yeah, not even choosing to touch hands at the first.
Threatt with the double underhooks, really working to work the body with the knees.
Austin immediately kind of getting some pressure against the fence, maybe looking for a takedown.
You know, the strikes really make the takedown easier, man. You get him lifting that leg. Now he's only on one leg. And, knees to the body don't feel too well either.
Oh, nice return knee there for Matthew.
Man. So as they fight for control here, looks like Matthew is willing to try a little bit of a toss and take it to the ground if necessary.
Sure. Now he's in position to throw a good knee right now.
You know, when you're in your first starting off, this can be a good position. Time's ticking away. You can really take a breath, really let the fight slow down, and kind of feel your opponent, feel how strong he is, and feel where he's trying to go.
He tried that knee, and it got him out of position to get him for so that Austin could get a takedown. This is why you got to be careful with your strikes, isn't it? Because it can open you up a little bit, getting a little anxious.
100%. Usually people are pretty good if they're in great position. It's hard to take somebody down. You just have to get them out of position a few inches. If you throw a knee and that makes you lean back, it's very easy to take you down. Right now, we just good side mount position by Vinzant.
Austin there is trying. Now this is where the rules come into play again, where Austin's not able to give any blows to the head or anything like that. Now, I've always maintained that inside control here, some vicious knees to the ribs, if possible, could really.
Threatt's looking for that Kimura Americana now.
Absolutely.
Threatening the submissions can also lead to other submissions opening up and him opening his guard. Now he can advance his position to mount.
Just like you're seeing right there.
He's got to settle his hips. Good.
Now he's in full mount, but really that doesn't do a lot with these rules, does it?
100%. You're very devastating if you're able to punch to the face. If you're not, there's not much you can do. He's doing a good job of going for a triangle on top, but that's going to be tough to hit with these shin pads on, I believe.
So now Austin's, I notice he's listening to his coach well, and as soon as the coach says something, he's doing it almost like a video game type deal. How important is it to tune out all the crowd noise and listen to your coach?
Man, it's great. I remember my first few fights. I didn't care what he said. I was out there to survive and win and unleash hell. So I'm sure it's very frustrating coaching somebody like I was at first, and being a coach and being in that position when you have a guy who you can kind of play like a video game, it makes it so much easier for you as a coach.
And that's just the experience of being a fighter and the amount of time you work with your coach and everything. You want them to just hear what you're saying because there's a lot of crowd noise. The more you work with somebody, the more you understand and you get on the same page with each other and you trust them and you listen to them. And that, like I said, that's becoming a pro. You talk at the beginning, you just throw punches no matter what, but being able to learn and digest what they're saying is very important.
Now, I would say that Austin probably won that round, first round here. Dealing with, since he was in control most of the fight. We also see, as we saw in the first round, because Austin was on top most of the first round, he looks a little less winded than Matthew does. Matthew's over there selecting to stand, but he's taking some real deep breaths.
Well, not only that, but when they were pushed up against the fence, it was Austin who was pushing, and there's a difference between when you're the guy who has the back against the fence and when you're the guy pushing. It seems like you're absorbing more.
I think the cardio is a very underrated statistic when it comes to fighting. Austin looks fresh and ready to go. Matthew seems a little
breathing,
more winded.
breathing out of his
So,
mouth a little bit instead of
you
just.
know, when you get a guy tired, it makes everything else a little bit easier.
Now,
He catches that kick immediately, goes right for the takedown.
now, Matthew taking this fight on 4 weeks' notice. How
Ooh.
much does that play into your cardio?
Man, some real brutal shoulder pressure
Four-
going on right now.
4 weeks is quite a bit of time, in my opinion. It depends on what was going on. If you were in the gym before that, 4 weeks is plenty. If you were not in the gym and you try and get in shape in 4 weeks, that's not enough. So it just depends on what was going on before that, I would say.
Now,
Okay, now we got back to the mount position.
I've always maintained that in this, to try to slide maybe to side control, if possible, just to have a few more options rather than just laying there on the mounts.
Now, Eric might feel differently. Personally, I don't like being in the mount position. I prefer side mount always. It's harder to roll me from that position, and I got more offense. The only thing you can really do for mount me is strike. I guess you can go for armbar, but I'm never going to go for an armbar from top position like that to end up on my back
Now-
unless there's 30 seconds left.
Now, Matthew keeps leaving that left arm out as Austin postures up. Do you think Austin, even being up against the fence, will be able to move to an arm bar at some point if he keeps throwing that arm out there?
Man, you know, I think it depends how comfortable Austin is with his submission game.
Well,
You know-
Austin's looking at a
Going
leg.
for a heel hook. He's got shin pads on, so that's really going to help him defend this. He's
So,
looking to tap.
Is he going to tap? Looks like he's
looking to tap.
Look, is he going to tap?
Nah,
Man,
he's not tapping.
he's fighting it hard, man.
I
Look,
told you the shin pads really prevent that torque.
now you can see the pain though. Look at him; he grimaces the pain from that heel hook that he's getting, that he has sunk in.
Man, you know, he's eventually going to escape this position. If he doesn't have it by now, he's not going to get it. So he needs to switch off to something else, come up on top, because now he's getting hit and sacrificing position.
Now at this,
switch it off to a heel hook.
Yeah.
we're seeing some pretty good submission attempts here by Austin.
If you want to finish that heel hook, the heel has to be in the armpit, not way up on the ball of your shoulder, way on the ball of Austin's shoulder, like that. So the percentage.
Man, look, Matthew being able to, whatever position this really is sitting here. Now he's able to hammer the ribs a little bit, but he's having to sacrifice maybe getting his.
Man, in my opinion, when the fight's going like this, Austin is losing the fight. He's not doing much. He's working on a submission that is clearly not there, and he's absorbing strikes.
And that's an interesting thing you're talking about, because it depends on the judges. Some are going to say the guy go for the submission is winning. I am a personal believe whoever's doing the most damage is winning. So it's like you're saying, it depends on, I bet some judge gave him, I bet that'd be a split round person.
Yeah, you know, Cody wasn't even defending the submission. He was just hitting. So
Yeah.
I think you shouldn't be scoring points just because now you're essentially just holding his leg in that position.
Yeah, exactly. So, but you know, some guys will give them basically the round because they're going for a submission. You never know what the judges are exactly looking for. I prefer to go for more damage, but
Is there a mindset when you're trying to get a submission and it maybe doesn't work out the first time that you feel like, oh, I've got to go to this, and you start getting your progressions and maybe the submissions become a focus instead of just scoring damage?
well, I think at some point if you're trying to get a submission and it's not working, I would abandon that to try and get in a better position where I can continue to do the damage. At the end of the day, it's all about damage to me.
So now we're going to round number 3. At this point, you could say it could be anybody's round or anybody's fight. Both guys are struggling a little bit, I would say, to figure out who they are and what they want to do as far as fight-wise.
Well,
Man, you know, I think Austin's up 2 rounds. That he made that second round a lot closer than it needed to be with the way it ended. But, you know, he's still here starting round 3. He looks like he wants to do what he's done the previous 2 rounds. Take him down, beat him up, and definitely looking for a submission, looking for a knee bar right here. But he has a verbal tap. That's a verbal tap.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, sorry.
Nice. Interesting.
Man,
Very good.
Cody yelled
call,
out in
Eric.
pain, so that is a technical submission.
Yes.
And now the fight's over. Man, that's a pretty impressive submission to pull.
A lot of people don't know exactly what happened right there. They might think he just quit. They don't realize that he was doing a submission with his legs is what happened. And he's still on the ground from it. He doesn't seem like
yeah, he doesn't seem like he's wanting to.
I don't know if his knee is still hurt or exactly what's going on.
He's not moving. Eric, walk us through what he did and to get that leg lock there.
So he essentially wrapped his legs, Austin figure four his legs around Mr. Vinzant's straight legs, straightened it and like hyperextended it, kind of like you would do an arm bar, but with his legs. And you know, when you do MMA, you have to wear a cup. And that's an awesome fulcrum point. In jiu-jitsu tournaments, they don't let you wear cups because of that.
Really?
But in MMA, you obviously have to wear one. So especially if he has one of those steel or diamond cups that don't flex or bend at all, that's a really good fulcrum point. You should get an early tap when you go for those kind of joint lock submissions.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize doing arm bars and everything, you put that elbow right on the cup. It's a good focal point, like you're saying, to push off of, and you can really hyperextend that arm.
The thing is, with your knees, you know, you have less nerve endings in your knees than you do like your arms and upper body extremities. So a lot of times, by the time you start to feel pain and heel hooks and leg locks and things like that, there may have been some damage already done, whereas with an arm bar, it's immediate. You feel it immediately before any damage can be done.
Good show of sportsmanship here of Austin helping Matthew out of the cage to go get the doctor.
For sure, for sure.
Let's go to the announcer now for the finish.
Ladies and gentlemen, 19 seconds into the second round. Your winner by knee bar submission,